Is happiness wrong? No. Is materialism wrong? No. So what's wrong? Ego. Ego to have more than the other guy, store energy, and keep people enslaved. And destroy the planet and justify it and tell people that this is the way it is and keep people poor. That's sort of evil. That's not capitalism. Capitalism is a vehicle of finance and making things good. Is politics evil? Well, one party in Canada is evil, and that's the Progressive Conservatives right now, because they will not take a chance, take a change on the environment. They're not giving you options. Pierre Polopp is saying oil is the only way. So is he a good man? No, he's not a good man. A good man would say, well, we're going to try to change it. But you got to watch the spintails there. There's a lot of environmental scams. Especially in Australia under Scott Morrison, a libertarian liberal. They came up with, sounds good, it's a scam. Taxes, cutting, and this is how the system works. They say this is carbon credits. That's not carbon tax. Carbon credits, so they don't have to pay carbon. Interesting. So they start giving out carbon credits for cutting down trees. Where's the sense in that? And deforesting forests. That's the green scam. It sounds good, but it's getting so confusing, isn't it? That's the way they like it. That's where greed likes it. These conglomerates that don't want change. A fixed mindset. And the other is the media systems. I've known this for years. I never liked television. I never liked shows like that were dehumanizing people for their and putting them down as poor bums. You know, the bum. I'm on the bum. Judging people. Denouncing people for their and saying they're lazy. Now we've got to a revolution, the Gen Zs, that they don't wonder what the heck did our parents work so hard for. Okay. That's a good point. What did you work so hard for? I do agree there. With this technological revolution, we shouldn't be working this hard. Here we are, struggling, and we still got programming in us. I just got to get the squeezer on here, because I'm having a nice cup of coffee today. And the program. There's a tax on a capitalist system that I think is the only system that's fair in our world. The egalitarian equality of capital and distribution. And fascism is back. Fascism is back to defend something that's making a few people rich, but not a lot of people. You know, you drive a car. Well, other people drive cars that are electric. But you go around and call them names, and you start saying, listening to stories that, look at this is biblical, it's evil. Children working, that's all fiction. You know, evolution of technology, things don't start right off on the kicker. So we do have problems with lithium batteries. But when we start the ball rolling, we start looking at building better. A carbon economy, there's no good in it at all. This is black coffee, but it ain't crude. And there's no truth to it because there's science coming out and saying different. And there's a whole pile of climate deniers everywhere. And the trick is working. The greed of capitalism is wrong. And what do we call this? Free market, let the buck fly, less government, less regulation. And it seems like freedom. But it's enslaving people. And it's keeping people poor. It's attacking race. It's attacking culture. It's attacking many people. It's got hatred behind it. Watch the hate. Those who speak hate and do tactics of, like Pierre Paulette attacking Justin Trudeau, and all these people that are showing him in clown suits, it's not. It's a good ploy. We've been using this technique for a long time. Our TV shows where you show Walmart people and we laugh at people. We humiliate people. They're poor. And we judge them. That's the way media works because it's entertainment. Humiliating people, bullying people is not entertainment to me. It's even happening in our children. Pick on the poor girl and run her down. The other little girls pick her on her. And she cries. Ha, ha, ha. I've met men that cry. Healing from war trauma. And I said, I love you, brother. You're getting there. Yeah, I had to cry, man. Yeah, I've seen some horrible things in the Gulf. I've seen some horrible things. When a man can be humble and tell me he's crying in a bathroom, feeling better, he doesn't have to have the armor all there. He's in a state of change. And another thing, I'm going to tell you the type of psychology and psychiatry I'm against. Analytical judgment systems. When you pick on a spiritual teachers that have gone through the dark night of the soul, okay? You're just as bad. You're rubbish. That's not the type of psychology I practice. There's no judgments. There's no analyzing. Analyzing seems to be the new judgment system of science. Analyzing people, DSMs, giving your egoic run a call docs, licensed psychologists shaming people. You have no right. She comes up. So you watch pornography. Shame on you. What sort of therapist is that? Huh? Self-consenting, bitter bitch. That's a judgment. I shouldn't say that. But what type of person is that? There's a woman masturbating on the beach. Why do women do that? Because they've had some sort of sexual trauma and they masturbate to self-regulate. They humiliated her and she went and killed herself. With compassion and introspection, you'd realize that this woman has got issues. And I know enough about trauma that people have sexual indiscretions. And women never usually do that. That is trauma. And when they release sexually and they always have to masturbate, they're processing and releasing a lot of pain. But they shouldn't have to do that if we had a better healthcare system. Our mental health care needs to improve. Am I against good therapy? No. I like therapists to ask questions and say, it's not working. I've had therapists say that. I can't do this anymore. It's not working. No, change gears. Change and find a better method. And put God back into things. We overthink. We have to put compassion and the heart in. I've talked to old practitioners that retired, like a nurse up outside in Bonnyville, Alberta. I was drinking with her. She's an old retired nurse. She looked at me and she said, "They have no compassion in that hospital, these girls." Well, I got some doomsday professor called Dr. Jorgen Peterson saying, "Don't be an empathetic sponge." I'm an empathetic sponge, but I'm learning boundaries of protecting myself with Ho'oponopono and emotional freedom technique. We have to practice this. We are not going to be able to help people without compassion. Shut down the heart, you can't help anybody. If you need a synopsis or a sabbatical, please go to it. Go to a meditation retreat or go somewhere and start working on yourself. And then come back and help people. But you can't shut down compassion. We got it all wrong. We are all wrong, the whole model. They told us self-esteem is important. I heard that. So read Dr. Christine Kelly from Texas. That's working on happiness. Jorgen Peterson does not talk about happiness. I talk about happiness because that's the underlying meaning in life. We buy things because we enjoy them, or we frame the picture to have ego. And that's the world of selling things now. Buy this and you'll go far. Relying on the world and trying to build a status is not a real human being. A real human being might make money, but they might help people. And they might have good intention. So they get a label, philanthropist. And they do what they do. They make money, and then they take the money and they say, how much of that money do I need? There's people that I left behind on the path of this abundance I've discovered through my creativity, like A.J. Rowling. Forbes said she's not the richest woman in the world. She was. But she started giving money to help single moms get ahead. That's philanthropy, being a good person. How much money do we need? It's lonely at the top when you want to rock and roll, or you're playing good music and you're making people happy. How do you frame a great musician? I'm so grateful for the people who love my music. They built me up to here. Thank you. Or the egoic musician is a person comes up to them and say, I really admire your music. It makes me happy. F off. I've had that. I've heard people say that. They get too egoic. But other people, it really makes my music worthwhile when we can make people happy. Or we feel some people come up and they have enough guts to go up to a professional. I've done it many a time. I really like that song. A top artist. And I've never had that what other people say. Stompin' Tom had that with Hank Snow, and he was very disturbed because Hank was his idol, his mentor, and he just wouldn't talk to him. I've gone up to musicians that really means a lot that you're a guitar player like me, and you say I'm really good. It really means a lot, man. I like that humility. Humility is the kicker. I remember I played in a club one night. I didn't make any money. I was doing a charity, and I backed the band up on harmonica. An old man came in. He said it was on Christmas. I was so lonely. My wife died. I didn't know what I wanted to hear something that made me happy. You playing that harmonica brought back memories, and I was so happy. I'm leaving this place happy tonight. I was so down. I told the piano player, he says, Greg, that's what music's about. It's not impressing people. And I think people see through the showman to the good artist that has good integrity. And they try to improve their music all the time. You know, I'm going to tell you, I've listened to some great guitarists. Peter Frampton was very good. But he said, I'm going through the parents' records. Ew, it's jazz. But I put it on, and it was Django Reinhardt. I started applying it. A little sauce of Django Reinhardt's gypsy modals improved his guitar playing. He was using tools. He wasn't using the ego. We do get fixed into a certain genre of music. That's all right. It's all right. I think, an artist that ventures a little farther into the fields of other stylizations, with knowledge of musical theory and how they can implement some of those modals in rock and roll pentatonic scales and put modals in there, like Django did, is a very open-minded, not a mindset of creativity. Frampton did that. But he said, it's jazz, and that's my parents' music. You hear this all the time. Nostalgia and everything. And I think when you get into that and say they're just nostalgia, my parents, their music's better. I don't think they're saying their music's better. They hear things they like. My piano teacher said people are experts in music. Everybody. We know what we like. And that's good to know. We know what we like. And certain people like certain types of music. There's not one conformity. I try to get a music genre that people of all ages try to like. So I became a blues artist. And the familiarity of thinking of the person that you're playing to is making him happy. And getting the appreciation, not the fame, but their gratitude. That's what makes your musical life or your artistic life better. Benefiting others. I remember when I got married, I heard this song it made me so happy. And it was playing in a restaurant there. They had played old music feeds like that, 1990s. And it was Bare Naked Ladies. If I had, and it was so happy. And it was something my wife and I danced to. We just loved that song. Turn it up. It was just so good, Nostalgia? What about it? It's just good music. I play some old album, some old music. We started jamming old music, and they were songs I forgot about. I was playing with an old guitar player from Alberta, and I was backing him up. I don't know why I sang that. 1957, Sonny James, Young Love. You did a perfect take on it. And you took it away, and your vocals came out really good. I don't know, because I was singing, thinking when I was a little kid, Sonny James, Young Love. So I meet these young artists. Let's do a rendition, man. This is Hank Williams Sr. Nostalgia? No. Foundation. And take it out somewhere. I like taking these old songs and revamping them. Nostalgia? Glenn Gould taking the Brandenburg Concerto and playing it in his way. That's not nostalgia. That is taking something and really articulating it. There's nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of great music. Well, we throw it away. Then we're getting into a disposable consumer society. I buy an old piece of furniture because it's beautiful. And you say I'm nostalgically. I don't think that's wrong. Quality is all quality. Parts of culture is disappearing for always the new. If we're going to get into new, let's get into good new in music, not low vibe garbage. Nostalgia. Everything has a foundation. Music is an art form. Music has rules that make it music. It has theory, melodic scales, augmented scales, all sorts of things. They're all tools. And, this is what it's just like economics. Whatever we do we do it for the benefit of others? Or are we working in a company that just makes junk and planned obsolescence, and producing more garbage and more junk? That's what the engineers in California said. He's the head engineer in the studio. Says 15 engineers turning out garbage. I said it's the manure shovel, isn't it, boss? Seems like you know something about the recording industry. Yeah, I do. I remember when it was on. Oh, it's old nostalgia. Well, Statler Brothers in Australia went back to 2-inch 52 track tape. Some people go off DAW. Analog, man. I like analog photography, but am I against digital? They all have a place. But, I really do like the quality of analog photography. You only got so many shots. We talk about so much Wickonomics talked about this. Wickonomics. More is better, is it? This is the way we're thinking. Nostalgia. No. Progressions of a foundation of something. Americana music had a foundation of 1-4-5 chord structure. But I was playing Ricky Nelson. That's an old piece of music. There's about a couple of chords in there that aren't 1-5-4. 145. Jazz we'll start on the second, go to the sixth. There's a lot of variances in music. But if we're stuck on one track over and over, keep the volume up, and just have this grunge, I don't like it. It's not nostalgia. It's nostalgia. My music's better than your music. No, it's not your music. It's stuck. Like a lot of things are stuck right now. Climate denying is stuckness. And change, electric vehicles, renewables, and deep storage batteries. Stuck. And the music's stuck too. So it's a reflection of mirroring this world that is stuck. So she goes out to the labyrinth, and I notice this. She's walking it like it's a racetrack. She wasn't aware of it. I'm getting aware of things I do. I feel somebody uncomfortable. I'm playing with my phone. Why? Because they're judging me. I can feel it. And I do get uncomfortable. And I'm aware of it. No, why are you playing with that? Because you're making me uncomfortable. You're entering my space. And I said something to you that was offensive to you. I say I'm dating women your age. Oh, so he got really preferred hearing and angry. And he was getting very in the space here. But then I started realizing I'm defending myself. Why do I have to defend myself? Why do I have to defend myself and play with this wallet? This is an indication of awareness. And he pointed out, what do you play on the wallet? I used to do that with smartphones, holding my hand. And I realized it was an addiction, a self-regulating addiction. Because I noticed this guy was making me upset. He was judging me. Nobody likes being judged, told they're wrong. But I could be wrong, so I'm very open. But I feel he's a hipster, not a hippie man. He's got long hair, but he's a hipster. The university education, but not, and a lot of ego. Hipster. Don't be telling me stuff. I know what I'm doing, man. And that's what an old guy said, and that was a famous old man. You're 6 years old, Greg. You know your mind, and you know what's right. I can't forget what isn't right, but I get this all the time, this attitude bit, and I get this, you old people, old men think you know it all. No, I don't know it all. But I can't forget what I do know, and I'm trying to help you, and you won't listen to me. And it frustrates me, because it was old men that taught me the racing industry and how to train horses well. You might meet a person that's your mentor, and they might be awfully kind to you because they're kind to horses. And it's the racing industry, the racetrack. And I don't like judgments on horse racing. I've met a lot of great horse trainers. There's good, bad, and the ugly. And I've met some good horsemen. And I met some real scoundrels. And I met him I thought equestrian. I'll go equestrian because this seems like it's getting into money. The equestrian problem is the ego. Which is worse, the human ego that is trying to make people think they're special and hurting horses, or the moneymaker It's just framing, making money, and hurting horses. The man that is no, he's a Romeo. He's going around picking up chicks and breaking their hearts. That's the ego. And he's not a cool dude. He's not a cool dude at all. The good guy, I like her. And I'll make sure I don't hurt her. He's the good guy. I get a lot of young guys coming up to me. I love this girl, but I don't know. I want to carry her farther. But will I lose her, Greg? Damned if you do, damned if you don't, but you're a good person. Just live on that integrity that you're a good, sensitive young man and you're in love with this young woman that's so spiritual. I read an article. I'm attracted to spiritual women. Oh, they've had a messy life. No. They just had enough of the unconscious life. See how the world judges the more awakened people? It always does and defines it. Because it's the human ego coming back into ideology. That woman has had a bad marriage or something. Now she's wearing a lemonade dress. She's the happy. She changed all those lemons into lemonade. You ever heard of that saying? If life's handing you lemons, stand up on a lemonade stand. Make something good of all the things you learn. So you hold people to the past. You can't. Don't hold them back. You know, I was listening to Virginia Woolf, and she says a woman needs a boudoir, a space where she can be alone. And I've heard women that have been divorced and meet my husband too, and they like this guy better. Because that circumference is where she can do her practice or what she doesn't like. And he lets me do it. But he makes me feel comfortable because he loves me and I got a man in my life that I need. And that's what a woman's supposed to do. Have this space of free will. Your husband or your partner gives you space to be who you are. That's why marriages break up. Wisdom, age does bring wisdom. It's called life school. It's another school. And that's where you're going to go down after you get out of university or any skill. You're going to have challenges and look for the good in the challenge. What's it teaching you? Well, I've had a lot of hardships dealing with trying to be a nice person and not honoring my core value. I've come to the point that I'm pro carbon zero. I stand for the environment, the future children. I'm not for greed, and I'm for egalitarianism because it sort of comes into the capitalist system of fairness that everybody has a right to empowerment and for being the best they can and being happy for people. I don't negate people that have got more than me because I don't see a separation. When I'm happy for you, I got what you got because I'm picking up that love vibe that you're happy and it makes me happy. You know what I mean? Do you understand this? He's got a 70-foot slope. I sit down on the dock and other people, oh, look at that rich bastard. No, not me. Hello, sir. You have a good day out in that sailboat. Enjoy it. He writes back. So I have broken the duality and see that that person's happiness is important to me because I feel good. I don't feel separate. If you want people happy, you're getting part of the goals of happiness. As long as they're ethical and not hurting people. People make money doing good things. It's all illusion, all the smoke and mirrors that there's people doing bad, all bad. Television and your smartphones are showing all that. I hope they start changing and start showing the thing that sells is other people doing good things and you feeling good about it. Wouldn't that be nice? Okay, and that is you. This year is a year for self-improvement and being happy with your self-improvement and taking steps to be a better person. You know, it's a journey to improve yourself. And being happy for others is part of the journey that we need to get onto so we don't feel alone and separate. Think about it.